You're still watching the Eastern Business Report right here on the Afia Business Morning. I am Marvelous Apuamaga. The Anambra State government has officially passed a groundbreaking law to formalize the traditional Igbo apprenticeship system, popularly known as Igba Boi. The newly passed law by the Anambra State government formalizes the traditional Igbo apprenticeship system into a structured and regulated program. Taking effect from September 10, 2025, the law mandates a minimum education requirement of Junior Secondary School 3, that's JSS 3, for all participants and sets the apprenticeship duration at 7 years. It also establishes a state apprenticeship commission to oversee registration, monitoring, and dispute resolution, aiming to ensure transparency, protect apprentices, and modernize the system for greater economic impact. Joining me now on the program to talk about this right here in the studio is Dr. Lawrence Ede, Ph.D. Finance and Public Sector Economics. He is also a lecturer at Enugu State Polytechnic, Iwolo, and also serves as the program director at Skillnet Nigeria. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much for having me once again.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
So good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's just go straight right into our topic for today, Igba Boi. What exactly is this scheme about?
Igba Boi is a business model that is being very much present in Igbo ethnic nationality. What the scheme stands for is a model by which an established enterprise goes to the village preferably and then picks up a younger person and then he trains him, he lives in his house and then he gives him every other welfare required. And at the end of the year, he gives him a share of his business in terms of what we popularly call settlement. And then that Nwa Boi becomes his own oga. And then when he stands on his feet, he goes back to the same village, picks someone else. It could be the same village or elsewhere, but the truth is that he picks up someone else and then makes him what he was made. So that at the end of the day, Igba Boi becomes a base by which the Igbo was able to achieve a whole lot. Financially, economically, and business-wise. We all know the scheme is age long to have produced business empire and the likes of Innocent that we have today, and the likes of Ibeto that we even Charis and so on. All of these great billionaires conglomerate today started from this business model. So it is a baseline. I mean, it is a structure upon which Igbo has been able to establish their financial base, which of course is now being practiced all over the place. Let me say this, that like I said before, of course, when I came to discuss about this program here on this platform, I said that Igba Boi, Igbo Apprenticeship System was recognized as the largest business incubator globally. Of course, the Harvard Business School, everybody was studying the scheme. How is it? And so on. So I am glad that we have been able to achieve some kind of a transformation and then trying to bring it back to where it is so that people of this generation could leverage the model and then continue to create wealth as it used to be.
Yeah, before we talk about the bill that has now become a law in Anambra State, why, for a while now, we've seen, people do not really talk about Igba Boi as much as we used to. People do not really engage in it. You barely see young people do Nwa Boi, or would I say boy, for people they call their ogas. Why do you think young people are running away from the scheme?
Yes, like I said before, it's amazing that about a year ago or thereabout, I was in this platform, and then we discussed the reason behind the declining nature of people interest towards Igba Boi, and then we made some insight. We made some insight into that scheme, and then of course which borders on the reason why it appears not to be effective now. One of the reasons is that over a time we discovered that people are no longer keeping to that gentleman agreement. Remember, it is a gentleman agreement because there is no formal enforcement of compliance per se, and so at times you see some Nwa Boi who has served the master the first year, the second year, the third year. Towards the end of his settlement, then the boy with the Oga will fabricate a story and so on. So over a time, you see that guy going back to square one. So, and because there is no formalization, there is no you're on your own, the agreement is just personal, there is nothing much you can do. So there is erosion of trust. Some other times you also see Nwa Boi trying to enrich himself while still serving the masters and so on and so forth. So there are issues of default on that gentleman agreement, either from the Nwa Boi or from the Oga. And so over a time, both the Ogas and the Nwa Boi, they become discouraged on that scheme, and nobody wants to get into it. So one of the biggest problem was that it was not formalized. The agreement, there is no legal framework guiding it. So anybody can do what he likes and perhaps gets away with it. So that is one of the reasons, one of the problems. Another problem is that the scheme fails to transform, accommodating the digital interest, accommodating the accreditation process, which of course will make somebody know that nobody is actually doing a favor to each other. The relationship is supposed to be symbiotic. It's supposed to be you benefit from me, I benefit from you, and so on. So, but the system was unable to transform itself, thereby accommodating some other issues that would have made it more sustainable and so on. And people feel it doesn't work again. And also, we also pointed out that there is no encouragement from the people and so on. And some of the activities that the Igbo apprentice system accommodates, some of the activities were mainly commerce and industry. And today we are moving into economic activities beyond buying and selling. And of course, which our fathers, the fathers of the founding fathers of Igbo apprentice system did not accommodate. So all of this creates what we may call a cold blood in the system, and then there is a need for the reform. And that is why this reformation seems to be apt. And then in this time around. Yeah,
so are you saying there should be an expansion in this scheme?
Yes. One of the things that should be done is what has already done is having a legal framework. Now, beyond the legal framework, there should be an operational structure, operational guideline, which I believe that the commission in charge for implementation of this law will take care of. And what are those things? There should be a database, of course, that of course it is accommodated in the law, that we register everybody, both the boy, the Nwa Boi, and the Oga. And beyond that, there should be training and retraining, both for the Ogas and the Nwa Boi, to accommodate other enterprises aside from buying and selling or rendering services, this transport service and so on and so forth. So there's an expansion, there's a need to expand the scope of operation so that to accommodate the trending sectors. For instance, the ICT and so on, even the agribusiness that is going on, there is, my thought has always been that if it could work on trade and commerce, it could also work if we put up a very robust operational guideline that will oversee some of those things. So it is not just expansion, it is about innovation, and it is about creating a system that will make it work. And of course, creating an incentive that will make it work. I've advocated, one of the things I think that the bill did not capture is an insurance scheme. I advocated that that from the day go, the Oga should be able to contribute to a fund, trust fund, so that if something happened and then the Oga was unable to settle the Nwa Boi, anything can happen. The Oga can die, the business can collapse. Instead of sending that Nwa Boi home empty-handed, then he can bounce back to that insurance scheme and then make. So when we have that scheme already in place, it will motivate people. And beyond the insurance scheme also, I also expect that the commission should come up with post-training activities. They should be certified. When I complete 6 years, 7 years, as the case may be, as the law provides, as the maximum year, at the end of the day, the commission should be able to certify me as someone who has done this. And with that certification, it should be recognized and should be a base that I can assess credit to augment whatever my boss has given to me. So these are some of the things we could put in place. Once we do that, and then average young man knows that he is going to be trained, he is going to have a market share allocated to him, he's going to have capital to start up, there is an insurance to cover up, there is a certification which he possesses, which will guarantee his access to credit, not minding asking him to provide collateral, which of course he may not have the capacity to provide. These are things we will put up, and then it will motivate young people getting into the scheme and then bringing it back. And also, by the time we do wider consultation, we begin to integrate other components of entrepreneurship into it. There are the ICT tech enterprise can accommodate it. I have a model that I am working with 1 or 2 organizations on how to accommodate Igbo Apprenticeship system in technology, in this and so on. So these are the things we need to do. Expansion. And when we do that, we will see that we will create more wealth, empower more people, and create more employment for our teeming youths.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence. Now, the law also says only children or only youths who have gone through JSS 3, like you must be a JSS 3 graduate, in quote, to go into this scheme or go into the system. What do you think about that? And now it has set the duration of the Igba Boi to 7 years. What do you think about this? And what do you think motivated the government to, make this law?
Yes, the issue of qualification is for me, it's a good development, provided that there should be free and compulsory basic education. You understand? Because if education is free and compulsory, free in the sense that a child should have access to quality education, free and then compulsory, that makes him literate. That brings him to a point that he can read and write. That's all he needs to be able to do his bookkeeping, to be able to talk to customers, to be able to respond to the trend, look through his finance and so on, and then even go out there for bidding process and so on. So coming up with the point that the basics should be basic education certificate is good, but we must not just make it that kind of telling them this is what they do without providing the enabling environment. So our basic education must be free at all level, from primary 1 to JSS 3, and then should be compulsory, which means that everybody should have access to that. If education is not free and not accessible, telling people that they must acquire it before enrollment into the apprenticeship becomes a problem, because most people that join the scheme join it because they don't have the capacity to get themselves trained for further education, and so they of course, they bounce on it. And let me also say this, that Igba Boi itself is also education. It's a training program that people get into. It is not just an alternative. It is a full-fledged education system that one could embark on. Then number 2 question, you were talking of what motivates the governor. I think
pass this law.
To pass this law. Yes, it is a law that most of us have been advocating for a very long time. And then if you are a student of history in economic development within the Igbo ethnic nationality, you will know that the scheme is our scheme. I have always said this, that average Igbo man does not really go for paid employment. But then if you bring him to a point that he can work, at the end of the day, oh, you are going to get this percentage as your share. So he knows from day one that he's working for himself. He will bring it out his best to do this. So it will serve better than staying, for most of them, you see them, they don't work for a very long time. So, but they prefer this because at the end of the day, the proceed is determined, the sharing formula is determined, and so on. So if he himself being a finance manager, coming from the background of finance, coming from the background of economics, coming from the background of, he knows that this is what to do to create employment, to empower the people, and of course to increase the GDP of our people, and making it sustainable per se. So I think these are some of the things that motivated him to pass this bill, and then I mean to go in for this bill. And I think that's a good development. It is just not just ordinary legislative milestone. It is more of a cultural transformation. It is more of an economic expansion. A system that has come to be, and then giving it that flesh means bringing it back so that we can continue from where it stopped. So it's a good thing for that the government of Anambra State has made. And I believe that the other governors, other states should learn from Anambra State, improve from where they stopped, and accommodate those things that are not accommodated in their own law. And over a time, the Igbo will have that system that has once ago produced billionaires back in a full force. This time around, with every aspect of it.
So you believe this law is going to revive the apprenticeship system?
It will. It will revive them. But of course, the problem we have had in this country is not just about the law, but the implementation of the law. But it's a good thing that we have started. It will if a number of things take place. One is the people need to know about this law. The law needs to be, there should be an advocacy, there's supposed to be awareness creation, there's supposed to be a whole lot so that the people will know that this is what this law stands for. And then, like I said before, it is about implementation. It's about the political will to implement this law. And not just to implement this law, but to create other enabling environment that will make it work. The trust, the insurance issue, of course, the legal framework and so on is there and so on. So if we are able to do what that law says, and in addition, provide the motivation, the incentives, like I said before, I tell you, a number of people will go in for it. Because it doesn't make sense that you go to school, you spend 6 years in primary school, 6 years in secondary school, 4, 5, 6 years in the university, and at the end of the day, you come back to queue up looking for employment that is not available. Of course, it doesn't work. And so this system will work because everybody has a space in the market. And then everybody has a share in the market. So people can go into, in fact, as a matter of fact, it will be able to clear the doubt that education is a scam, because a number of persons believe that education is a scam. But of course, it's not a scam. It's just that the way and the manner we are positioned makes it appears to be a scam. So I think it is the right thing to do, and the state is in the right direction. It will definitely increase our participation in the entrepreneurial activities. Yeah,
before I let you go, Mr. Lawrence, this is the largest business incubator platform in the world, as you have said. And this system also contributes to is part of the informal sector, which also contributes to more than half of the nation's GDP. What impact do you see this having in the state's GDP, Anambra State's GDP, and also what impact would this have on the region as well and the nation at large?
Like I said before, the impact is distributive. One is that anybody, it will go to create employment, number one. Employment is not when you are paid. Employment, self-employment is also unemployment. So the issues of unemployment will reduce. And then it's going to increase GDP. Of course, when I am empowered to do the same business that another person is doing and then create my own market, run it, what happens? The gross domestic product increases. And then as a region, as a people within the region, it will signal, it sends a signal globally that these people are Afia indeed. These people are enterprise. You can't take away entrepreneurship from us. So to me, it is not just for Anambra State, it is for the region, and it is for the Nigeria, and it is for global. And the impact is huge. The issues of unemployment will reduce and so on. There are a whole lot associated with it. And of course, it will restore peace. Because when we come to, of course, one of the reasons we have insecurities is because the wealth is not distributed. Igbo apprenticeship system is a distributive, well-distributive mechanism. So when you are happy, everybody is happy, everybody is happy, everybody is happy. You see the issue of planning for evil, planning evil for one will disappear, because by the end of the day, everybody is happy. But when it is one man, they will plan for you. You can't go to the village, you are built up, you can't sleep on it. But if everybody is happy, those insecurity issues might erode away.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence, for joining us. It was such an insightful one. Thank you.
You're welcome there. Welcome.
And that's much we can take on the Eastern Business Report today. Until I see you tomorrow for another edition of the Afia Business Morning, I am Marvelous Apuamaga. Coming up next is Afia. Many thanks for staying with us.